Here's another week, another podcast, another day. Coffee with the docs, Dr. AJ, Dr. Gabriel. We got a great show for you today, Doc. Happy Valentine's Day, brother. Tell me about your day yesterday, bud.
Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. My day was good. Just got to clear a lot of nerve interference, got to adjust a lot of people, and just had a relaxing evening. It was nice. It was quiet. It was great. How about yourself? What did you guys do for Valentine's Day?
I walked in. I said, I'm going to give you a kiss. And then I handed her a Hershey's kiss. And I gave her a real kiss. I came home, though. She made a whole plate of cookies, like these really they're like sugar cookies. Mm-hmm. And I ate one. And then I ate a second one.
Oh.
And then Esme wanted one. So Maggie's like, you know what? You can break one in half and have a half a cookie. And she's like, what'd I do with the other one? I was like, I'll take it. So I ate a half of a cookie. And then I blacked out. And when I got done, I had eaten 5 cookies. 5.5 cookies.
That's like 5.5 cookies more than your weekly cookie intake. So we'll splurging a little yesterday.
Well, I started intermittent fasting. I got some blood work done. And just to see, and I've been supplementing. And they're like, don't eat in these hours and give your digestive system a little bit of a break. And so what I found is I'm very hungry and I will eat whatever I can eat within those 8 hours. So that's a whole topic for another time, but I blame that on my 5.5 cookie evening. But I feel great this morning. So, hey.
Yeah, we should dive into that next week and kind of figure out what you're doing, how you're doing it, and kind of get an update on your fasting and everything. It's because your body's going through quite the reset from kind of a GI probiotic aspect. So I'm excited to see how you're feeling in a couple weeks, see those new numbers on the updated blood work as well.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I think most people could really benefit from implementing something like that.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Did you have a good weekend? I had a good weekend.
Yeah, what happened this weekend? Was there a game on?
I don't know. I can't remember. Something might have happened. It was, I don't know for sure if anything big happened, but it felt like something big happened this weekend. I turned to Maggie after the game. I'm like, because she's a big Broncos fan. I've been hearing this whole time, like, oh, how many Super Bowls you got? How many Super Bowls you got? And it's always been Chiefs have 1 or 2 or whatever. I was like, I feel different. She's like, you're so stupid. She does not like football anymore. It's funny. So,
that's good. And welcome to the club. The Packers have 3 Super Bowls as well, so we're on the same page now. You guys got 4?
4. 3.
Oh, Jesus.
3 in the Mahomes era.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
Yeah,
because it's been 50 years since your last Super Bowl 4 or 2 or
there
whatever
we go.
It was.
There we go. Yeah, so Packers don't know what's up. It's all right. This is we'll leave it at that. Everybody knows I'm a big Chiefs fan though, and it was a lot of fun this weekend. We had a good time. I want to move on to our candy hearts. There goes that feedback. I got to sit back. I get too darn close to the microphone. I get way up here. Hey guys, I'm so excited to talk to you today. The candy hearts. Tell me about who won the candy hearts, man.
So we had a lot of guesses. A lot of people were really close. We didn't do Price is Right rules. We just wanted to see who was the closest to the actual number. There were 537 hearts, and our winner was Mr. Ryan. He was only... he was actually in the office yesterday getting adjusted. I told him he was still the closest. We were counting him every night, kind of updating the count. A lot of people were a couple further away from him, but he was only 9 hearts off the final count.
Now, are we sure that we recounted? Because throughout the week, I might have snuck a candy heart or 2. So there might not have been 537.
I didn't ask the team to recount them, so we went off the original count in case people were snacking on them. So,
well, when you guys are in the office this week, we're done doing the candy hearts. You'll see that there's a new newsletter for February. And we're celebrating some practice members that hit some milestones. There's some education on going back to the basics. I want to talk just briefly on going back to the basics, and we talk about it in the newsletter, but all the elite athletes that I've ever followed, whenever they wanted to get better, they wanted to level up, they went back to the most basic thing and mastered that. They worked on that. Michael Jordan would go back to the free throw line. Coach K from Duke would reteach his team how to properly tie his shoes. And just like when you want to get better, it's not always about adding things. It's about doing the things that you're already doing better, doing the small things right. Because if you can do the small things right, you can typically do the big things right. So we go pretty deep into that in the newsletter. Make sure you grab it when you're in the office for your adjustment. Let me know what you think. We'll be talking about it as well in the rooms, but that'll be out over the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's a pretty good read, honoring some people, hitting some pretty big adjustment milestones in there as well. And I really like when you make those and put them out. It's just a really good group of information all at one place. Sometimes those handouts we give in the office can get a little repetitive about different topics and different things, and these are just have a little bit more personability to it. Even though those handouts we give you guys are full of a ton of good research and information, so you should probably read them.
Yeah, but it can be a little bit of a tidal wave, and when you see time after time after time, like chiropractic helps this person broke through with this testimonial, you can get a little desensitized to it, just like we do, and we were talking about that a couple of podcasts ago. But that's kind of a great thing. And the other side of the coin there is like, man, like what a world that we do live in, right? That could be exposed to everybody. Everybody could live in this world where it's like, man, natural health and healing is just like the way the body works, and we expect miracles, and so that's pretty cool.
What's going on in your world? Anything happening with you soon?
So our Maggie's still uber pregnant, so ready to have this baby. Our due date is a week from today. We talk due dates, but she's probably going to go a little bit over. She wants to have the baby today. Like if she had it her way, she'd be like, I'm texting him. I want to text him that we're going into labor and get home, and Dr. AJ can take care of all the adjustments. But it's worked out pretty well because we had this whole plan, this like plan of action over the, this season for Dr. Jordan and myself to both be out of the office. And, Dr. Jordan's out next week, and then he'll be back into the office. So it could just work out perfectly for you, but I knew you were capable of adjusting everybody in the practice. But it's a lot of fun when we have two docs on the floor. I got to admit, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's more fun working with people. And yeah, I don't know, this morning I was just waking up, hanging out at home, and I just had a feeling that you were going to have that baby today. I don't know why. So Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully for Maggie's sake I'm right.
Yeah,
I don't know. When it comes to babies and newborns, though, we get a lot of moms under care, a lot of pregnant babies, and chiropractic can do so much for that newborn and kind of that fresh neurology. The birthing process is such a stressor on the system. So, what are some big things that you see in the office as far as some of those early, feeding issues, latching, things like that? We've had a couple good breakthroughs in the office recently about some stuff like that.
Well, what I would say to any mom whose baby's not latching is we have to check the palate of the mouth. There's so much twisting and pulling during the birthing process that these cranial bones can distort, right? And every single one of my children, all three of them so far, as they've come out and were placed on mom's chest, I checked them. All of them were subluxated. And so we made a slight gentle adjustment. It helps reset everything. And those cranial bones can shift to the proper place because that palate that can shift down. Part of the sphenoid bone can shift down, and it can alter the ability for the baby to latch properly. So any mom whose baby's not latching, a neurologically based chiropractor can absolutely address some of the root issues and get that baby latching properly again. So I highly recommend any mom get your babies checked.
Couldn't agree more, because when baby's not feeding and it's painful and bad things are happening from just an early on standpoint, it just adds more stress, and we're going to lower those stress levels for you. So come get your babies checked, please.
Yeah, it's just one less thing to worry about. And when you have a newborn baby, typically you're not sleeping real well. Typically, the stress levels tend to be a little bit higher. Just to have one less thing, knowing that baby is healthy, connected, healing, and is going to grow up to be a healthy adult is one less thing that you have to worry about as a mom. And I'll take it every single time. I'll take it a healthy baby over a sick baby.
Healthy babies make healthy adults.
Yes.
We say it all the time.
And let's talk about healthy adults, right? Because there's times where healthy adults go through seasons where they need a little bit more care, right? It's like it's hard to expect our bodies to just always be in a place of wellness. Tell me, I know you have a testimony you wanted to share today right along those lines. Tell me about that testimonial.
Well, sometimes we get a little bit more influx of stress. So Dr. Gabriel, Dr. Jordan, or myself will recommend a boost adjustment. And it's, why would I need just one extra adjustment? And it's not just one adjustment. It's just adding a little bit extra care in a certain season or uptick in stress, because our stress fluctuates just like our kind of neurological capacity in the system. So we had a lady that came in Tuesday night, was really flared up, and her appointment wasn't until Wednesday. And we've just told her enough times that if you're hurting, you don't have to wait till that actual appointment time. Come in, we'll get you adjusted, we'll assess to see if you need more care. So we did a little bit of specific work through her arm and her shoulder, and she was able to sleep through the night. She came back Wednesday and said it was 70% better. And then she came in for her regular adjustment that next day, and I'm going to reach out to her today and kind of see how she's doing, make sure that we've kind of got her back to that wellness level. Because sometimes, like last week, you said we dip down. We just got to make sure that sometimes we implement more care in there to maintain that, optimally functioning nervous system.
It does not matter about stress, guys. Please hear him when he says this. It's like, you're going to have stress and your stress is going to fluctuate. Okay. In those seasons where maybe you have a little bit more stress, just focus on optimizing your function of your nervous system just a little bit more, so it has the capacity to go through the highs and the lows and those seasons of stress that you go through. Right. So there's two different terms that we use in our office, right? For people who they're not in rehabilitative care or active care. We're not actively treating a symptom. We've gotten their bodies working. They're in a place of healing, but there's two different terms. There's wellness and there's maintenance. Can you speak to that and tell me the difference between wellness and maintenance?
If someone is under maintenance care versus wellness care, we're basically just trying to maintain the level of functionality that they're at. We're not trying to necessarily keep improving their restructuring and kind of basically maintaining all of that hard work they've put in years prior, and just kind of maintaining that level of, health and healing and hardly any symptoms, rare flare-ups. When they do get flared up, they bounce back quickly. But sometimes when we're in that maintenance mode and we do get an injury or an accident, we think we can just keep maintaining that same frequency to get back to maintenance. But that's when we need to kind of reassess, see how much pressure's on the nervous system. That heart rate variability gives us a really good tool to kind of measure if we're adapting to that stress. So then we need to assess how much care it takes to get back there. Whereas sometimes if we keep our foot on the gas a little bit more, we can just stay in that wellness mode where we're going to keep improving long term. So it really just depends on everybody's body and kind of what their goals are with chiropractic and their health. I would want to honestly adjust everybody more than we probably do, but we get it. Time, money, life, kids. It's hard. You guys can't be in here every day, all day, like we wish you could. So
Yeah, and we're offering a spectrum of options now to understanding better the difference between wellness and maintenance. So I'm going to use my DeLorean, pretending that it's a plane, right? You work, so here, first day in our office, you work real hard to get your body working again, right? Like a plane getting up to cruising altitude. It takes a ton of time and repetition to get your body into a place of healing. And now you're at cruising altitude. If you guys ever are on a plane, you can hear the engines change and shift down, and they go into this different gear where they can go far fast. High efficiency. This is your maintenance. We're just going to maintain the whole time, slow and steady. Typically in our office, we're seeing you 2 times a month, right? We see people 2 times a month, and we talked about this last podcast because of scar tissue on the spine. If you go through a season where maybe there's a storm and you dip in your altitude, man, we can't just maintain it every other week. We have to rehabilitate that system back up to a place of full capacity, right? Throughout your entire life, pursual of the best version of you is, I think, such a crucial value for people who truly want to be healthy. I think the people who are truly the healthiest, that we see that they're 70, 80, 90, they value wellness. Not just maintaining, not just getting through, but getting better throughout their life. Because as you get older, it's a second law. I'm going to get nerdy here. It's the second law of thermodynamics. The longer that something exists, the faster that it breaks down. So the more that it takes, the more energy that it takes to preserve it. So as you all get older, you're going to have to do more and more and more just to stay in a place of maintenance. Every other week may not be the right amount. So even if you're at that now, we may have to look at that as we're measuring your heart rate variability, say, hey, We need to move to 3 times a month. We need to move to weekly, whatever it is that's best for you to make sure that your nervous system's always in a place where it can adapt to the stress that you're going through. So love me some Back to the Future, but keep
I love
yourself in
that.
maintenance.
I mean, it's a really good analogy too. When it comes to the difference between maintenance and wellness, it's all about weathering that storm. And we see a lot of people in our office, like teachers around parent-teacher conference time, usually coming for a boost adjustment. Parents that coach, whether it's baseball or certain sports, and they're doing a lot of activities in that conditioning period, coming for some extra adjustments. Our accountants this time of year usually pop in for some extra adjustments. Everybody has their storm. Everybody has their reasons that they might need extra care. And everybody's is different. So just talk to us about, when your stress levels really increase, and we can decide whether you need extra care and kind of get you back to that level of wellness rather than just maintaining that storm. We want to basically avoid the storm altogether and get you back to cruising altitude as efficiently as possible.
And our recommendations are going to be based off the research, right? We're going to measure and we're going to base our recommendations around your heart rate variability, around the function of your nervous system as a whole. But in the end, there's this little kicker, and it's your gut, right? And when your gut says, hey, I need tuned up, we have an open door policy. We would prefer you use your Sched app and you add an appointment. But worst case scenario, let's say you're driving past, you happen to go down Q Street and you're like, Wicked. I love that place. Best chiropractor in the world, right? Great. But your gut says, dude, you need tuned up today. Something's disconnected. I want you to walk in, and I want you to trust that gut intuition. We talked about that with moms talking to like their doctors a couple of podcasts ago about how you got to trust your gut. Trust your gut when it's time for you to come back into the office for a boost adjustment, because you know your body better than anybody.
Could not agree more.
So we got another big topic we want to hit on: the difference between neurologically based chiropractic care and other types of chiropractic care, because we both have the word chiropractor in our name, right? What's the difference?
Being a neurologically based chiropractor is different from kind of the chiropractor, if you will, just because we're going to focus on the neurology, the nervous system. A lot of chiropractors focus also a lot on the musculoskeletal system, the bones, the muscles. Yeah, that's great. There's a time and a place for all those modalities, but there's so many different things we could do when it comes to therapies and modalities and ways to treat your pain. We'd rather start at the base of that and start with the nerves that control those muscles, help feed those bones, and just help basically balance out that entire system as a whole. So we're going to start at the nerves, the nervous system, the master system of the body, and make sure that that's working. And then we'll recommend other experts in that field. We'd rather be the master of the neuro work and leave some of that other modality and therapy work to the people that do that all day, every day, like we do with your guys' nervous systems. I know it's a topic you're very passionate about as well, just because why wouldn't we start at the source? Why don't we start at the root cause rather than trying to fix parts of the problem? Let's fix the problem.
I think that a lot of chiropractors practice that way because either they're never taught, or it's very, very difficult to work with somebody and get them inspired to value the nervous system because you can't see it. A dentist, you go to the dentist, you can be like, yeah, my teeth are jacked up, right? You can take an x-ray of a spine. It's not like I'm going to take an MRI of everybody's body in this office, or a CT or anything like that. And we can assess a spine. We can check for misalignments. We can rack and crack bones back into alignment. But if you don't change the neurology that connects to the tissue and the tissue that connects to the muscle or to the bone, that muscle's just going to pull that bone right back where it's been, because your spine has been in that place for so long. And if you really want to go deep on it, your brain's been holding your spine there. There it goes with my feedback. I'll get a little farther away. So it's not that proper structure of your spine creates proper function of your nervous system. It's that proper function of your nervous system will create proper structure of your spine. And a properly structured spine puts you in the best structure to take a hit if you have a slip, a fall, a trauma, accident, or those repetitive daily stresses that you go through. So in the end, everyone wants to feel good. You want to feel good? You must function well. If you function well, you'll have proper structure. If you have proper structure, you will be in the best place to adapt to stress, and you will feel better as well.
Preach. We gonna wrap things up here. You guys have been doing a great job in the office bringing soup. Our soup drive is in full effect. We got a few weeks of that left. We've had a ton of donations so far, but we want to see you guys keep bringing them. Just load this place up with soup so we can really take care of kind of those people in need. Any final words for us today, Doc?
Yeah, man. Well, the goal is 1,000 cans of soup. Okay. I think that we have the capacity as a practice to just blow that out of the water. So, yeah, when you come in, bring your cans of soup. If you forget or you want us to do your shopping for you, a lot of people are already donating funds. So what we can go and we can buy as many as possible, but it's all going to go to the food bank for the Heartland, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Food bank for the Heartland?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me bring you out with this, Doc. It's gratitude. We have so much to be thankful for. You ever hear like first world problems, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
I get gut shot from time to time when I feel myself getting caught up in the details. And when I go back to the basics, as we were talking about earlier, and those basic things that we need for survival are met, we have a roof over our heads, we have food, we have clean water. We have so much to be grateful for. And so if you guys are finding yourself in a state of stress, never forget there's so much to be grateful for. Don't be the person that something big happens in your life and you realize you spent the last 20 years in a place where you weren't thankful and grateful and your actions didn't show the people around you that you truly were grateful for them. Okay? Take advantage of every opportunity that you have in your life to show the people around you that you are grateful for them. And the thing is, the world will give you more of what your actions prove you're grateful for. So when we're in the office and you hear me ask you, what are you grateful for today? It's not just to start a conversation. It's to shift your mindset away from all the crap and put it onto what's truly important. Because the truth is we're all blessed. So I'm thankful for you guys. We'll see you in the office. It's going to be a great week. Love y'all. Go Chiefs. I love you, Doc.
Love you too, bud.